It was a quiet Sunday morning. After breakfast, 12-year-old Mohit was playing with his puppy in the front courtyard, laughter echoing through the misty air. Suddenly, two men arrived with an elderly lady, perhaps 60, looking puzzled. As soon as she saw Mohit, her eyes softened. She came closer, calling out, "Chintu! My Chintu!" Before anyone could react, she cupped his face and kissed his cheek, as if meeting her long-lost grandson. Mohit stood frozen. The warmth in her touch felt strangely familiar. His mother came rushing out. The men explained gently, "The old lady needs work, madam. She's all alone. No one to feed her. She remembers only her name and her grandson's. Chintu." The woman kept staring at Mohit, and Mohit, who had lost his grandmother just a year ago, saw her reflection in this stranger's eyes. Coincidentally, Mohit's mother was looking for a maid. Their previous help had left only a week ago. On Mohit's quiet insistence, his parents agreed to give the woman a chance. It was the end of October. Winter had begun to whisper through the open windows. The old lady was frail but graceful, soft-spoken, obedient, and honest. Though her mind seemed to drift at times, there was a calmness about her. Mohit's mother gave her a woolen blanket, some saris, and a few warm clothes. They began calling her Geeta Tai. Before she came to Mohit's home, the township had already noticed her. One rainy morning near the workers' dormitory, people saw an old woman sitting on the roadside, drenched and trembling. Her eyes wandered blankly, and she kept repeating one sentence, "My son will come. He'll take me home." When asked, she could only say, "My name is Geeta. My grandson's name is Chintu." No address, no clue, no memory beyond that. The locals felt pity. They gave her shelter in a vacant dormitory room, offered her some food and dry clothes. Days passed, but no one came for her. Finally, to help her survive with dignity, they began searching for a household that could employ her. And so, by destiny's quiet design, Geeta Tai arrived at Mohit's home. In the beginning, Geeta Tai barely spoke, but whenever she mentioned her Chintu, her wrinkled face would light up. Mohit's mother tried several times to learn her story, but all she got were broken fragments, scattered like pieces of an old photograph. Mohit's father filed a police report, printed her story in the local newspaper, and even posted her photo online. No response, no trace. Gradually, she blended into their small family. Mohit often sat beside her, listening to stories from her fading memory. Stories of Chintu, the mischievous boy who loved sweets. Stories that somehow mirrored Mohit's own childhood. One day, Mohit's mother noticed something odd. Geeta Tai would forget simple things, but remembered details about her grandson vividly. A doctor diagnosed her with selective amnesia, partial memory loss caused by emotional trauma. From that day, she wasn't treated as a maid anymore. She was family. The family gave her a small room in their backyard, her own little corner of peace. Years slipped by like pages of an old diary. Mohit grew up and moved to another city for higher studies, staying in a hostel nearly 50 kilometers away. One Saturday, while watching stored photographs in his phone, he saw a photo of Geeta Tai. A sudden thought crossed his mind. What if I try again to find her family? He went to a nearby cyber cafe to print her photo and paste it around the city's markets. The cafe owner, Chinmay, glanced at the photo in his phone and froze. His hands trembled. "Where did you get this picture?" he asked softly. Mohit said, "She works at our home. She only remembers her name, Geeta, and her grandson's name, Chintu." Chinmay's eyes filled with tears. "Chintu, that's me," he whispered. "That's what everyone called me when I was little." And then, with a heavy voice, he revealed the story buried in time. There had been constant fights at home. One morning, his grandmother had left quietly, perhaps hurt beyond words. His father searched for her everywhere, but she had vanished. Chinmay was only in class 9 then, too young to understand loss, too helpless to find her. Now, years later, destiny had brought her photograph to him through a stranger. The next Sunday, Mohit and Chinmay drove to the township. In her small room, Geeta Tai sat quietly, folding a sari when Chinmay entered. She looked at him for a long moment, her eyes searching, unsure, and then suddenly, recognition bloomed like light, breaking through fog. "Chintu, you?" she gasped. Tears welled up in both their eyes. Even with her fading memory, her heart hadn't forgotten him. Her trembling hands reached out, and she pulled him close, the years of distance melting into a single, wordless embrace. Mohit stood by, watching, his heart heavy, yet at peace. Within a week, Chinmay rented a small flat near his cafe and brought his grandmother home. They began living together again. His mother refused to take Geeta Tai back, and his father, burdened by guilt, chose silence over acceptance. But he agreed to share rent of her flat. Chinmay had found what mattered most, his lost grandmother. Time healed what memory couldn't. Mohit completed his engineering degree and got his first job at a nearby power plant. On his way back to his parents' township, he stopped by Chinmay's home. This time, Geeta Tai looked different, her eyes brighter, her smile fuller. Love and care had done what medicine never could. Her memory had partly returned. She recognized Mohit within seconds and blessed him, her voice steady and warm. Chinmay was now a successful businessman, running 2 offset printing presses and his cafe. Mohit invited them both to his parents' home. During the drive, Chinmay revealed a painful truth. Years ago, it was his own father who had left Geeta Tai near the labor dormitory, thinking it would restore peace at home. The man who helped her find work at Mohit's house was actually his father's acquaintance, silently updating him about her condition for years. Mohit's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Some truths are too heavy even for forgiveness. When they reached, Mohit's parents welcomed Geeta Tai with open arms, this time as an honored guest. The house was filled with laughter again, that comes from hearts healed by time and kindness. On Geeta Tai's face was a peace she had been denied for years, a peace that only love could bring. Sometimes, a small act of kindness can change someone's entire life.